Hello and welcome to this fortnight's videocast. I'm Josey Puliyenthuruthel, the managing editor of the magazine. We have Indian banking on the cover this time, and a good time to look at how healthy or unhealthy our banks are. Non-performing assets at Indian banks are at reasonably worrisome levels, and I use those words carefully. They're not reason for panic yet, but our banks are certainly not in the pink of health. NPAs, depending on how you measure them, are up to about 1/10 of the assets outstanding, and if you believe some people within the banking sector, it is maybe 50% more, as in 15% of total assets. Two things are going around at this point in time with banks. One is, as we know, the bribes for loan scandal that is kind of rocking the sector, and the rot seems to be deep. So much so that borrowers tell us that without a commission to people involved in the credit approval process, you will not get a loan of any size at all. So that brings in its sets of inefficiencies into the banking sector. And two is obviously the after effects of lending binge that we saw in 2008, 2009, 2010 period. There was a easy money policy, a lot of liquidity in the system, and banks lend to projects left, right and center, and we are seeing after effects of that happening now. It will take some time to clean up. It's not the worst of times for the Indian banking sector, but it is fairly vulnerable, especially if you look at it in the time frame of the last 1 decade. So this is on our cover, and I dare say that you'll find it interesting to kind of grab a copy on the newsstands. We have three other interesting pieces in the magazine. One is an interview with Padma Shri Warrior, who is the Chief Technology and Strategy Officer of Cisco Systems. Cisco, as you know, provides plumbing for the internet and other networks on the world. And Padma Shri talks about both her vision for the company, as also about women in the workplace, a topic that she's very, very passionate about. Don't forget that she was a chief guest at the Most Powerful Women Award ceremony just a fortnight ago. The second story that we have is on Tata Motors. Tata Motors is brought in a couple of new passenger car models and is betting everything that it has on the success of those two models. In some sense, the company is making a break from the past, but also the success or failure of these models could kind of define the future of this company. So keep watching that space. But the big package that I want to kind of draw your attention to is our annual package on small and medium enterprises. As you know, we look at small and medium enterprises, SMEs as they're called, every year, and we score the market to find the best in that sector. To help tell us a little bit more on this, I have with me Taslima Khan. Taslima runs the SME sector coverage as also entrepreneurship coverage for the magazine, and she will explain to us how the Best SMEs package was put together this year. Hi, Taslima, tell us how is the SME package this year different from what we have done in the past? This is the 5th time we are doing it. How is it different this year?
This is the 5th time, and I would say this is in terms of the selection of companies that we have arrived at with, which is 13 best amongst 40 million SMEs across the country. The selection of companies is really great and much more varied than we had in the past. Usually when we talk about SMEs, the usual understanding is the companies would be a mix of manufacturing and trading. But this year we have companies which are really doing great stuff in terms of providing value-added services and using technology as a lever. So some of the companies that I've really liked is this is iConcept Software Services, which provides software to agriculture. And we know developing a business model in agriculture is really tough. Execution is really tough. Sales are really tough in this segment, but this company has made it.
Okay.
No wonder it's one of our overall winners.
Interesting. And any other companies that kind of
From
got your eye?
The story point of view, I thought Maharani Paints, the company I personally reported on, they have a very interesting story. And readers can read the longer version of the story on the website www.businesstoday.in.
What is so differentiated about Maharani Paints?
The guy has a really interesting story in terms of the fact that they started really small. They come from a really humble background, as in the father of the guy, B.R. Bhatia. He came to India at the time of Indo-Pak partition, and they had a small cloth shop. And from there they became traders, and then they became manufacturers, and today runs a 100 crore company.
Okay.
and it's a family business, runs well. And then the best part of the company is that it's a winner in the innovation category.
Right. I read that in your story.
That's really fantastic about
the company. Okay. Thank you so much, Taslima. So, stories of entrepreneurs who have started very small and gone on to reasonable sized revenue size. To put this in perspective, we have two categories of awards. We defined the small in the SME as people with 50 crore revenues or less, and people from 50 to 200 crore revenues are the medium enterprises that we talked about. Interesting stories of entrepreneurship in this issue of Business Today. Do get a copy if you're interested in it. Thank you so much.